lecture number 2 of chapter number 13, India, Location, Geological Structure and Physiography, part 1. In the last lecture number 1, we had discussed about India's location on the world, its size, its area, right? Today, we are moving towards the topic of strategic location of India. Strategic means very unique position of India on the world. In the terms of waterways, we know well that India has a very long oceanic boundary, which is very much helpful for the growth and development of our country. Oceans have contributed immensely in the development of the mutual relations in the ancient time. We had the relations or the trade relations with many countries in the ancient time also. India had trade relations with East Africa, West Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia since ancient time. Right? Since ancient time, we are having the trade relations with all these countries. With the opening of the Suez Canal in the year 1869, the distance between India and Europe reduced by 7,000 kilometers. Initially, we used to go by encircling the whole of the continent of Africa and then to the Europe. Now, we are going by Suez Canal. So, via India, we would be going or connecting the Mediterranean Sea in Africa, then Red Sea, and then we are able to reach to the Europe. So, by this, we are able to reduce the distance of 7,000 kilometers. The Circum-African Waterway and Suez Canal Waterway passes by India, which is very much useful for developing the trade relations with that countries. Canada, USA can be reached through the same waterway via Strait of Malacca. Even we can reach Canada and USA via the same waterways if we cross the Strait of Malacca. Right? In this manner, what is it that we are having the trade relations with many countries very easily because of the strategic location of our country. Right? So this is how with the larger area, with the peninsular boundary, we are able to have much trade with other countries of the world very easily. Right? Now let us discuss the next topic with geological structure of India. Now let us continue with the topic of geological structure. The crust of the earth that floats over the semi-liquid rocks of asthenosphere. Now what is asthenosphere? Whatever is inside the earth, that all is counted under the name of asthenosphere. Whatever physiography which we are able to see today of India is the result of many tectonic and crustal movement which happened in the past. Right? So the crust of the earth that float over semi-liquid. Semi-liquid means we are talking about magma. Right? So the layer of earth which is on the magma that is forming the earth. Heat is generated due to radioactive process in the interior of the earth. Now inside the earth crust, we know that the hot lava and magma is boiling. Due to this, the radioactive currents are produced in the interior of the earth, which will lead to the constructive and the destructive movements of the tectonic plates on the earth. we know well that we have 7 tectonic plates or lithospheric plates on the earth. But this is the result of the crustal movement which has happened in the past. Right? So, we have 7 tectonic plates which are Pacific plate, North American plate, South American plate, European plate, African plate, Indo-Australian plate and Antarctic plate. These 7 plates are the lithospheric plates which exist on the earth. Right? Now, all these 7 plates are having continuous radioactive process inside its earth's surface, and as a result, either these plates are having the convergent effect or the divergent effect on them. Now let us understand what are convergent and divergent effects. At some places, these 7 plates are coming closer to each other, which is known as convergent plates. Now these 7 continents or the 7 plates which are unevenly distributed on the earth. At some places, these plates are coming near to one another. This is known as convergent of plates. At some places, these plates are drifting away from one another, which is known as divergent plates. Right? So these 2 kinds of movements are happening on the lithospheric plates. Either they are coming near or they are drifting away from each other. Whenever this kind of the things happening, convergent or divergent, it is creating major effects on these plates. At some places, mountain-like structures when they collide happens. And at some places, whenever they drift away, what will happen? Fissures-like things would be created. Right? So whatever 7 tectonic plates or the 7 continents which we are able to see today is not the same till the earth came into existence. It is different than it is today. Right? So let us understand what was the situation inside the earth or of the tectonic plates in the past and what or how it has happened to the 7 continents of today. India was the part of very vast ancient landmass known as Gondwana land. Right? Now what was the Gondwana land? In the past, this large mass consisted of present South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica. These all the 4 continents together made a huge landmass which was known as Gondwana land. Slowly and steadily, due to the convergent and divergent movement, this huge landmass of Gondwana land started at some places drifting away from each other, at some places they started coming closer to each other. Right? Over the period of time, Indo-Australian plate started drifting towards northwest. So we were connected with the Australian plate and started moving northwest. Now again, due to the collision, due to the tectonic movement, what has happened? The current India's piece of landmass was broken away from Australia and was shifted via Indian Ocean towards the south of Eurasian plate. Right? It is believed that this plate collided with the European plate about 5 crore years ago. Right? So 5 crore years back, what has happened? This landmass of India collided. Collided means it hit the continent of Europe, means Eurasian. We know well that Europe and Asia is the same plate. So we collided with the southern part of Asia. The collision was so strong that due to its collision, Himalayan mountain system emerged out. So can I say that when the Indian tectonic plate, where the India is, that continent, when hit with Asian plate, what has happened? The hit was so strong that they had upward movement on both the lithospheric plates. And what has emerged out? The largest mountains of Himalayas. Now where current Himalayas are? At that place, before Himalayas, there was Tethys Sea. Over the Tethys Sea, the collision of two plates, Indian plate and the Eurasian plate hit. Sea remains inside and the Himalayan mountain system emerged out. This is how we became the part of Asia. Right? Now the large valley was formed in the south of Himalayan system, wherein alluvial sediments deposited by the rivers flowing. So rivers started depositing on the south side of the Himalayas its sediments, its alluvial sediments. Thus, the Ganga plain between the Himalayas and the southern peninsula system formed. So we learned about how the Himalayas formed, the northern plain formed. Even in the southern side, right? Due to the tectonic movement and the volcanic eruption, one large plate was disintegrated and was submerged. And this is how Arabian Sea came into existence. So this is how India's physiological structure came into existence. Right? Even the physiography of India is much diversified. On the North India, we have the Himalayan system. Then we have the alluvial sediments in the form of northern plains. We have several plateaus, peninsula system. Right? So this is how India's diversified physiography is the result of tectonic and crustal movement which took place in the past. Right? So this is how we are coming to the end of chapter 13, which is part 1 of this chapter. Hope you all have understood all the topics well. Thank you so much.
आभार।